Hey guys, it's Joel here, or Joel, it's my real name. Most of you probably know me as Killstorm, or Ultimate Killstorm. The reason I'm actually making this is actually a really random video, I guess, but, whatever. But I'm basically here to talk about a certain somebody in the rock band community known as Carson, aka iHomerx360a. Now, as many of you probably know already, at the time of watching this, Carson was considered by pretty much everybody, was factual, the best rock band drummer that ever lived, essentially. He rose his way to the top, and now, just so you know, this video is not to try to slander his name or to try to, take away from what he's done in the game. I'm definitely not trying to do that because I know what he's done. I understand I understand the level that he was at, so I'm keeping everything in mind when I'm making this video. Now, this video is kind of difficult to make just because while I'm making this, I'm thinking of all the stuff going on, and Carson has a pretty huge following because of how good he was at the game, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to hate on him. I'm not trying to get anyone to change their opinion of him because, again, what he's done in the game is already done. Like, he's done a lot for this game. So I'm just going to talk about some of the stuff that, I've experienced with him and why I personally think that, he's not a very nice person. First things first, we can talk about everything from the beginning. Carson is was a great rock band drummer, and around 2011, 2012, he was on his way to becoming the best rock band drummer. He had been doing a lot of great things. He started, I think, like, he really became popular when he FC'd Working Man on drums. That was a really big deal at the time. And then, of course, as time went on, he started becoming better and better and better, and people started watching him, and, he just really blew up. So, Carson was always somebody who everybody kind of saw as having a lot of potential in the game. He did a lot of great stuff. I digress. So, Carson started becoming the best around late 2011, 2012 era. He was really, really good. Now, he was nice to people that were on his side. Now, I'll explain what I mean by that. If you were somebody that laughed at what he said or agreed with him on what he said, you were cool with him because that's just how he was. However, for someone like me, he was definitely very rude, and I'll explain why. So, Carson, in my opinion, was very rude to certain people. That's one, and he was also very manipulative. Now, I'll explain why he was manipulative in a moment here, but for now, I just want to talk about stuff with me relating. So, back in the day, we were in a Skype chat called the Autist Chat. Now, I'm pretty sure that chat is still around, but I don't know for sure. If somebody has the link for that chat, please let me know. I'd be happy to join. Back in the day, though, we had a chat in Skype when Skype was popping, known as the Autist Chat. And the Autist Chat was pretty much a compilation of pretty much every single rock band player. So any rock band player that you can imagine was probably in the Autist Chat. We were all in there, and we all talked almost daily in there. So, again, Carson was one of the, main members of that chat. He was very active in there. He talked every single day. I was also pretty active in that chat at the time. However, basically as time went on, I noticed that Carson was very against me. And what I mean by that is whenever I would even speak in the chat or say something, Carson would always give me some kind of a slick remark. Now, at the time, I'll admit I didn't have the best reputation, and that was because I did a lot of really stupid things at the time. But I tried to mend my ways, and I tried to be open to everybody, and I tried to, be as honest as I could be, and I tried my very best to fit in with the community, because the rock band community around 2011, 2012 was pretty big. A lot of people were really, really good. People were showcasing their abilities, and it was just a really great time to be in the community. And I was one of those people. I was one of those people that became pretty decent at the game on drums, and I looked up to Carson in a way because, of course, he was the best drummer. So, who doesn't want to be the best, at their craft? So, I really, really was able to empathize with him. So that was a big deal to me. I always respected his talent, his gameplay, all that stuff. And some people might disagree with me when I say this, but I truly feel like his talent at the game and his status as the best drummer at the time was a big reason why he became so egotistic and so inflated in his head. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me because people who are friends with him probably see it differently. But for someone like me who made some mistakes and really tried to fix those mistakes and tried to start a clean slate, it was always very difficult because of him. He always put me down. He always tried to make me seem like I was lesser than everybody. He always gave me crap, and whenever I said something, he would always discredit me. He would always say something smart. When I was in the chat, even if I said something as simple as hi or hello, he would always try to turn it into something bad. Like, he always tried to associate me with negativity. And I remember times where I would say something in the chat that I truly felt wholehearted about, and he would just take it and make it the group title, so people could basically to put me on the spot. We would try to make other people see that I was quote unquote crazy, and he was just very, very malicious in his intent. He was very rude, always tried to put me on the spot, always tried to make me out to be this crazy person, and it was just annoying. He always gave me crap for whatever I said. When I posted videos on YouTube, he would comment stuff, about how I'm a tryhard and how I, basically suck and how I'm just annoying and I'm just a specimen that doesn't matter. And I eventually ended up blocking him on YouTube because of that, because he was just so annoying. He always used to try to bring me down no matter what. So, of course, I got annoyed by that, and I ended up, cutting all ties with him, except for Skype. But any media that he could possibly contact me on, I blocked him because he was just so negative. He always, always, always tried to bring me down no matter what. So that was obviously something that kind of got to me because I was really trying to, express myself and become a content creator on YouTube, and I really wanted people to recognize me for my craft. And he would always try to belittle me, always try to bring me down, always say something negative, and it was just, it really did get to me. Because the thing is, I really respected him, and I really, aspired to be as good as him in the game, and I always respected his game, but I didn't respect his personality because he was always so, rude to me. So, why would you want to respect somebody who doesn't respect you? So that always lingered in my mind. And getting to the part about him being manipulative, perfect example I have is MazeGeek. Now, just so you know, I've had permission from MazeGeek to make this video. Now, he has nothing to do with this video whatsoever. This is all my own personal thoughts. However, MazeGeek has been through his manipulative ways, and so have I. And he's just been very, very rude about everything. MazeGeek, it has nothing to do with this video whatsoever. All the stuff that's coming out of my mouth right now is stuff coming from me. However, we all know what's happening. So, many of us have, seen the drama between MazeGeek and Carson and know what's going on. However, for those of you that don't know what's going on, I'll go ahead and clue you in. So, essentially, years ago, back in 2012, Carson had FC'd Young Man Blues. Now, keep in mind, I can't stress this enough, but keep in mind that at the time, Carson, of course, was considered the best drummer in the game. However, Young Man Blues was a huge deal to many people. The fact that he was able to FC Young Man Blues, nobody thought Young Man Blues was possible at the time. Keep that in mind. No one thought that it was possible. Carson FC's the song. People are blown away, including myself. Nobody expected that to be done. So, of course, we're all kind of thinking, wow, legendary status has been made. A huge milestone has been achieved in this community. It was a huge deal. It was going around. Everybody thought it was crazy. So, moving a little bit forward, nobody ever thought that it would be FC'd again. I remember I was talking to Isaac in the house once, and I asked him, I was like, hey, do you think Young Man Blues will ever be FC'd again? And he was like, nah, probably not. And And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. I agreed with him. I was like, it's probably not going to be FC'd again. I mean, you know, the fact that even somebody as good as Carson struggled with the song, you know, it took so long for him to FC the song. We thought, okay, you know, if the best player in the world took that long to FC it and had to struggle with it, more than likely, no one else is going to FC it. And that's where Maze Geek comes in. So Maze Geek, shortly after Carson had FC'd Young Man Blues, had come out and said to us in the Autist chat that he thought he was capable of FCing Young Man Blues. Now you can imagine the kind of you know, hilarity we found in this. Again, Carson was the best player at the time. He had been the only one to FC Young Man Blues. Nobody ever thought that it would be possible again, let alone from Maze Geek. Now keep in mind, at the time, about 5 years ago, Maze Geek was known for his ability on keys, pro keys to be exact. He was the best pro keys player, hand down. He's probably the best pro keys player now anyways. And he's always been super good at pro keys, but nobody ever really imagined his ability on drums. He was a pretty okay drummer. He had a couple good FCs, but nothing that was you know, too unique or out of the ordinary. So everybody kind of just brushed him off. So Maze Geek, of course, knew his ability. He knew it before anyone else knew it, and he was really confident in his ability to FC Young Man Blues on expert drums. So what he did was he ended up making a video of him FCing Young Man Blues on his table. Now I'm actually in front of my table right now. I'm not going to show you guys what it looks like or anything, but bottom line is he ended up posting an unlisted video on YouTube of him FCing Young Man Blues on his table. And he basically wanted to showcase to everybody that he was capable of FCing the roles in the song, and that he knew the roles by heart, and that he was able to replicate that. So basically, it went something like this. He said, okay, I've studied the chart, and I know the pattern of this chart, and I know the roles. So what I'm going to do is try to replicate it on my table. As you can hear me tapping right now, he basically watched his computer and tried to memorize the notes of the roles. So he pretty much kept going and, you know, just went in with his fingers on the table. And essentially he was able to post a video of him, an unlisted video, bear that in mind, that's important, an unlisted video of him FCing Young Man Blues on his table in front of a computer screen. Now, of course, you know, he ended up posting this video unlisted, but he ended up sharing it with us in the, I believe it was in the Autist chat. And you can imagine the kind of meme material that people had at the time. People thought it was crazy. People were like, what the heck is this guy doing? You know, this guy's crazy. He really thinks he can FC Young Man Blues on expert drums just because he's able to replicate, you know, what he does in the chart on his table. People were like, hell no. People thought that was insane. You know, just because you can, you know, hit the rolls on your table doesn't mean you can, you know, replicate that same exact style of play on a real drum kit for Rock Band. You know, like, people thought that was crazy. And of course Carson, no exception, you know, part of his classic troll ways, decided, oh, I can, you know, make some fun out of this, you know, get some fun out of someone else's expense. So what he did was he saw the unlisted video of Maze Geek trying to, you know, show his ways on, you know, his table, and what he did was he said, Maze Geek, you either make this video public or I'm going to post it on my channel. So basically he was manipulating him by saying that if he doesn't make the video public, or if he tries to delete the video, or whatever the case may be, Carson was going to post the video one way or another. Carson had saved the video just to manipulate and humiliate Maze Geek, because no one believed that Maze Geek was capable of FCing Young Man Blues. And I'll admit, I was one of those people, kind of. I thought it was a bit absurd. I never said straight up that he wasn't going to do it, but I also was one of those people that kind of thought it was out there for him to claim that he'd be able to FC it simply because he had memorized the notes in his head. But you know, of course Carson took it to a whole new level, and Carson basically said, if you don't post the video, make it public, or if you delete it, or whatever the case may be, I have the video saved, I'm going to post it, and I'm going to humiliate you, basically. So Maze Geek decided not to post it. You know, why would he? So of course Carson, being the troll that he is, decided to go through with it. He's a man of his word, I guess, and he ended up posting the video. He posted the video. I'm pretty sure the video is still up to this day, and he's basically just trying to humiliate MazeGeek by saying, like, look at this guy. This guy's fucking crazy. He thinks he can really FC Young Man Blues just because he could do it on his table and he memorizes all the notes. Ha ha ha, you know, let's point and laugh at him. And that is why I think Carson was a pretty shitty person, and was very manipulative. Not only towards me and other few people in the community that didn't agree with him at the time, but also towards MazeGeek. Always doubted him, always tried to put him down, made him seem like he was crazy for even fathoming that he could FC anything close to Young Man Blues. I remember Carson used to say that, you know, he wouldn't even get the first roll of the song because it was just too hard. There's no way you can do it. You know, basically, I'm the only person that can do it. And the part where it becomes difficult is that you have to understand it from both points of view. You've got Carson's view, which is, I have the FC of the song, I know how hard it is, you're not going to be able to do it, period. And then there's MazeGeek. There's MazeGeek that was like, wait a minute, yeah, I know by many it's considered impossible, but you know what? I think I can do it, and there's a reason I think I can do it. I know the rolls, I know the speed, and I truly think that I can replicate that on a real drum set when I play the game. And of course Carson was just a typical troll hater saying, you know what, you can't do it, man, it's just not possible. I know how hard it is, you don't, so therefore I have the upper hand here. And let me tell you, the day that MazeGeek FC'd all the rolls in the song was the day that pretty much shut us all up. He actually ended up FC'ing all the rolls in Rock Band with video proof. And people were blown away. People were like, what? Like, he can actually do it. He wasn't kidding. People started kind of opening their eyes. Sure enough, around August of 2015, I think it was August 28th, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was around August of 2015, it happened. MazeGeek actually ended up FC'ing Young Man Blues on expert drums, second ever, after Carson. So just imagine the kind of hype that was going around him at the time, the kind of stuff that people were saying, the kind of stuff that people were rethinking, you know? People were like, whoa, he really wasn't kidding. He actually had the capability to FC Young Man Blues. And he did it. And he proved everyone wrong. He shut all of us up. And he did it. Not to mention, later on, you know, Young Man Blues is easy to him now. He's FC'd so much stuff since then. And it just goes to show that you really can't trust or believe what haters have to say. You have to just believe in yourself and focus on your own goals and go for them. Now, the topic of this video was to talk about iHomerx360a, aka Carson. And after all the stuff that I've just explained to you, I have to say, Carson was definitely a dickhead. For sure. People that don't agree with me or people that disagree, whatever the case may be, or don't think he was that bad, they didn't go through what MazeGeek and I went through. He belittled us so much. And I think MazeGeek is the better example here just because he actually ended up proving him wrong and showing him that, hey, I can do this and more. Like, I have the capability of becoming as good as you on drums. Now, I don't think MazeGeek really thought of this when he was doing all this, but it's definitely prevalent now. So, in my opinion, MazeGeek is the best drummer at this time of recording. September 3rd, 2018. MazeGeek has definitely proven himself to be somebody who is capable of becoming the best. He is the best already. But he has proven Carson wrong, and he has done so much to prove us all wrong. And I can't explain how much I actually admire him for that. He is definitely a big inspiration for me and others in the community, I'm sure. In my opinion, he is the best rock band drummer at this time, probably the best drummer that ever lived. He has reached new heights that were unimaginable at the time, even stuff that Carson wasn't able to do, like Sinner's Vengeance, Chiasm, Synesthesia. He's done it. So, in my opinion, he has surpassed Carson, and the fact that Carson hasn't said anything about it, you could make the argument that, yeah, he hasn't been involved in the community in several years, so why would he say anything? But at the same time, I feel like when you're in that kind of position, you should give props where props are due. You doubted this guy for so long, and he ended up coming out on top and making it through all of your hate. So why wouldn't you congratulate him? But again, that's not really of my concern. We can always question what we think happened, the reason being why Carson never ended up congratulating him or recognizing him. I'm sure Carson knows deep down in his head he was wrong. But the fact that he can't admit it shows a lot, in my opinion. So bottom line, guys, Carson, as good of a player as he was, I always respect his gameplay. I always respect, his ability in the game. I never doubted that. I truly believe that he wasn't the nicest person at all. And, a lot of people don't care about that. And a lot of people think that, when you're the best at something or when you're the best in the game, that's pretty much it. That's all you need. That's all the credibility that you need in order for people to respect you. But, in my opinion, being somebody who went through what Carson has said to me and other people, I've seen it firsthand. I was definitely active in that autist chat back then. I've seen what he says to people. I've seen what he tries to do to make people look bad. He is just very, very rude, very manipulative, and just very hateful. And I don't know why that is. I think it's, and I hate to say this, but again, I truly feel like him becoming the best drummer in the community, becoming one of the best players of all time, definitely got to his head. I mean, that kind of power, imagine that, I truly think that was a factor in all of this. But yeah, guys, I mean, Carson, I'm not trying to take away from him. I'm not trying to say he doesn't deserve his fame. I'm not trying to say he doesn't deserve any of the credibility that he has in the community. He definitely knows what's going on. He definitely has the talent and the skill and everything. He's proven that many, many times. And he will never be forgotten. He's always legendary, and I'm not trying to take that away from him. But people need to understand that, along all of those journeys, along all of that, he was not a very nice person, unless you agreed with him on everything. So, Carson, if you're out there, man, I'd love to see you sometime. I'd love to try to, get in touch and, talk with you and try to be cool. Because, again, I respect you. I respect you now. It's been 5 or 6 years since we've last spoken. So, I'm not trying to, be fake or try to, do anything crazy. I'm just trying to be completely 100% honest. I would love to see you. If you're around there, please comment on the video. Please do whatever you can do. But in the meantime, man, I mean, if you're out there, working hard, doing what you got to do what you got to do. I'm not trying to take that away from you. I'm not trying to take away your credibility or your fame. You've done a lot for us in this community, and you've made milestones that most of us couldn't even imagine. So, again, man, I mean, you were way ahead of your time. Everyone knows that, and I respect you greatly. But you were kind of a dick. But again, man, I mean, I'm not holding that against you now. I'm just trying to kind of get my point across that a lot of people worship Carson and think that he was this legend. He was, but his personality definitely wasn't great. He was very rude, very manipulative, and wherever he is now, whatever he's doing, I'm sure he's doing great right now. I wish you the best in life, and I really, really hope that you're doing well, and I hope that one day we're able to talk again because, we have a pretty rocky relationship, but I truly feel like if we had sat down and talked face to face, we could have probably gotten somewhere. So, again, man, if you're out there, please reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. But in the meantime, keep doing what you got to do, keep living your life, keep enjoying what you're doing, and I really hope that everything turns out great for both of us and everyone else in the rock band community. So, thank you again, guys. I really appreciate your time today. This is Ultimate Killstorm, aka Joel, signing out.